This is UMass basketball.
I know this. I'm the most animated coach that you've probably ever seen in my team.
Thompson in the front court. Thompson will lay it in. And one.
Hey, he's just being Frank.
All right, everybody. Welcome to White Lion for our first ever live Just Being Frank podcast with head coach Frank Martin for men's basketball and the legend himself, Marcus Camby. How about a round of applause for these guys? Thank you all for being here today. We've got a lot to get to in a short amount of time. Coach, Marcus, thanks for being here today. How you guys doing?
I'm trying to figure out who that long, really, really thin guy is over there on the left, because he looks like this guy, but this guy looks a lot different. I'm like, this is awesome. It's awesome, Marcus, what you've done, creating this here in Amherst, and then being up here and supporting not just our players, the program, and then being able to do this here, and you being a part of this. Thank you so much.
It's not a problem. I'm just always thankful to be back in the area. UMass is, Amherst is like my second home. It's the first place I ever went to when I came out of Hartford, Connecticut. So this place holds a dear, warmth to my heart.
When did you guys first meet? When you took the job here?
The day I got hired, he shot me a text because he had an old teammate that played for us in Cincinnati, James White.
Yeah, Flight.
And James texts me and says, Frank, is it okay if I give Marcus your phone number? I said, sorry. I almost said it exactly what I told him on the phone. I'm like, come on, man, are you kidding me? So Marcus shot me a note, and and it's one of the reasons. And I don't say this isn't like public speaking 101 nonsense. This is real. Like, there's some jobs you get hired at, and you got to build history because there's no history, and there's jobs that you get hired at, and there's history in place, and the job is to try and match that. Well, number one player in the country, number one team in the country, Final Four, 6, like what you guys did, Marcus. I say this all the time because I'm in the building and I look at it every day, and I'm like, it's incredible. 6 regular season conference champ and postseason conference tournament championships in a row. That's ridiculous. It's those accomplishments. So when James calls me and says, can I give Mark? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm getting ready to go represent his school. Everything that they're about, that's what I need to understand and learn so I can try and help build this place.
Marcus, what have you kind of witnessed in seeing this team this year on the court? What do you like about them?
I always root for my team. It doesn't matter what players we have out there. I'm a diehard UMass Minutemen fan to the day I die. But I know Coach Martin. I've seen him on TV before when he had hair and he was out there screaming and yelling on the coach.
I didn't wear hats back then.
But I always had a fine respect for him. I knew the knowledge that he had, and Coach Calipari and Bruiser Flint, those guys always spoke highly of him. And when I got a chance to meet him and spend some time with him, he's a stand-up guy, and I wish I played for him. That's how much respect I have for him.
Thank you.
We're going to take some questions from everybody here in the audience, but I need to set the stage because we've got some big stakes that we're giving away. The Just Being Frank podcast is sponsored by the Massachusetts Collective. Big thanks to you guys for all the work that you do in supporting these student athletes of men's and women's basketball. And there's a fundraiser going on, and in about 20 minutes or so, we're going to announce the winners live for some amazing, amazing prizes. And you guys ready for this? One of those prizes, the entry is just $10. $10 gets you a chance to win the raffle. One is to sit courtside with you, Marcus.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Sharing popcorn. No, you don't have to. Okay.
We can do it.
Dinner with Coach Frank Martin, and you're cooking, right? Or could cook.
I can tell you this. Last year, he was sitting courtside right across from the bench, and at halftime, I was like, we're doing okay at this same game. Yeah. And the way we played in the second half, I almost went and sat with him. So.
That was against North Texas last year.
Yeah. Now dinner with Anya and myself. Anya, who's also she's running around.
She's here somewhere, right?
Yeah,
Hey.
Big UMass grad, and the same way Marcus and the fellas were number one in the country. She was number one in the A10 and the hurdles, and so a lot of UMass winning going on back in the 90s that I'm tied into right now.
Come up, scan the QR code or go on the Mass Collective Twitter feed and scan the QR code. Get your ticket for $10 entry to win some of these amazing prizes that support our student athletes, the men and women that play basketball. And we've got a few of them here, Coach. Your team has showed up.
Yeah, we had a really we've been in finals week, so practice this week has been kind of like an hour and 15 here, or like we were on the court for 3 hours today. We had to. We had to put the whole week. I like preparation, and today's the day that we had to put everything together. But we had to break it up into so many parts over the course of the week because we didn't have as much time per day that we went really long. So the guys came. Most of them should be here. They're coming to get some food. By the way,
they're on the side eating.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know who's ordered food here or not. Let me tell you something. The food that they're cooking here at this joint, holy cow! Them burgers and wings. Max, I'll be 400 pounds next week now. I'm just telling you.
What do you, Marcus, when you think back to your time in college at this time of the year with finals, do you have any recollections of how difficult that was for you?
I mean, it was fun because we got out of the dorms and we moved into the campus center. So that was that was a little fun for us. But we knew it was serious time. I think my junior year around this time, I think we were heading off to Hawaii to go out there and play in the Rainbow Classic.
That's where we're going next week. You want to come?
I need to go. Put me on that plane.
Come on. You kidding me? Come on.
Yeah, so those times was always fun, but I miss it, man. I miss the guys. I miss playing in the Mullins Center. I just miss the community. I just miss the fans. Just the whole nostalgia of being around UMass basketball was a great time for myself as well as my teammates.
Yeah. Did you have think about your esteemed playing career. What made a good teammate?
Well, to me, I get asked that question a lot. Like, I played with so many different players on so many different levels, and who was my favorite teammate? And I always tell people my favorite teammate ever was Larry Johnson. Oh, yeah. It was the way he approached everybody. He made everybody feel special. He didn't have an ego, and he was a great player. Don't get me wrong, but he was more of a better person, and he was somebody who I like to pattern myself a little bit after. Always give praise to the next person. Never heap a lot of praise on yourself. So he was somebody I took a lot from.
Frank, you're always talking about the we versus the me. Yeah. Can you elaborate on what might make a good teammate on your team?
Yeah, it's what he just spoke about, man. I got a quick story, and it involves Michael Beasley and Udonis Haslem, two guys that both played for me in different times of their careers. Haslam's a starting player for the Miami Heat going into a contract year, and the Heat draft Michael Beasley to take his job. They didn't know each other. But Haslam called to Miami, told Spoelstra and Riley, put his locker next to mine so I can teach him to be a pro. To this day, Beasley, in his roller coaster that he's been on as a player, he still says that the guy he respects the most in the NBA is Haslam because of that. And like when you said that about Larry Johnson, because, I'm a fan. I'm in the 90s. I'm a young high school coach, but I'm watching games, and those grandmama was like on it, man. That dude was like on it, and I used to love watching his physicality, his toughness. I used to love watching him play. It's no surprise that I didn't know I'd never heard anyone say that. Every team he played on won. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that winning, but we were both in the same golf tournament, and he was putting, practicing, and I walk up from behind, and I said, hey, Larry. And he turns around, and he says to me, you're my favorite coach. I didn't know him. And I was like, wait a second. I'm coming over to tell you you're one of my favorite players. And it's one of the joys of the world that I'm in basketball, man, is getting around, guys that are pros, man. Like, you don't last 20 years playing professional basketball unless you are a pro. There's a lot of guys with talent, but pros are the ones that stay. And pros are the ones that make their teams better, and they comprehend that it's about the next guy, making it better for the next guy. That's all I talk to these guys about. When these guys got here, I hear all the stories about the cage. It's awesome. It's awesome to walk in there and see that. But I can only imagine what your locker rooms look like in the cage.
I didn't play in the cage.
Well, you never made it.
We just practiced there.
Well,
but you knew what it looked like.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I definitely know what it looks like.
And then you see what the locker rooms were at the Mullins Center. And it's like everyone that comes through, their duty is to make it better for the next one. And that's what I've been talking to these guys about, because we got young guys trying to make them comprehend how much better they got it than he had it when he got here.
Yes.
And how important it is for them to make it better so 20 years from now someone else can look back and say that.
Marcus, when you walk through the JFK Champion Center, what do you think now?
I wish we had that.
It's crazy.
I wish we had that. And even not just for us. Let's like the women's team have our own center for them. We didn't have that when we were in school. So just to see how much growth the university has gone through over the course of these years is like it's great. It's great for everybody.
You've got a big game, Coach, against West Virginia tomorrow. Hope to see everybody there, all right, at the Mass Mutual Center. And for those watching on the stream, I hope you make it down there as well. You played some big games in Springfield.
Had some great games in Springfield. The most memorable game I had down there was probably '95 when we played Arkansas.
First game of the year.
First game of the year. Our second year in a row knocking off another number one team.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, fortunate enough to do it, 3 years in a row. Our first year, we beat North Carolina in the Garden. They were number one. They had a stacked team with Rasheed Wallace, Stackhouse, Montrose, all those guys. And, Arkansas came in the second year down in Springfield, with Corliss Williamson, Scotty Thurman, and those guys. And, my junior year, we knocked off Kentucky, another number one team. So I was fortunate enough to get those wins, but I was blessed enough to play with so many great players.
Raise your hand if you were at that game here. All right. Down. Lanny, you were there? Okay.
Santa, you was there, Santa?
Santa was there. Coach, how do you and one of the big topics the last couple of days has been the ever-changing world of college athletics, and now two-time transfers are being allowed to play right away. You're going to face some tomorrow perhaps against West Virginia.
They're playing.
They're playing.
They're playing.
I'm curious, Marcus, I want to get your opinion on this too. What that landscape looks like and how do you navigate it and where are we going?
I don't know. It's just so different for me now. It's like foreign to me now just to see guys just transfer and jump school after school. And, me being a loyal guy, I couldn't see myself like coming here and then going to UConn per se. Yeah. But just the landscape, everything has changed. The NILs and things of that nature, stuff that I don't really know much about. I'm just support it.
Coach, do they build statues for guys that transfer constantly? Because we got one out front of the Moan Center for this guy.
No, I'll tell you, here's the only thing, because it's a long conversation that can go in different ways, the whole transfer thing. I've always felt if the university fires a coach, the player should be allowed to leave. If a coach leaves, that means the university was not willing to grow the program the way the coach was trying to grow it because of success. So if the coach leaves, then the player should be allowed to leave. I've always felt that way. This is the world of transfers. This is what gets me. Kids, the rules say they can transfer. Let them transfer. It is what it is. We got to make these guys feel great, give them a great experience. So we got to recruit guys that loyalty is important to. So then that personal connection goes a long way. And then we got to continue to grow our program through like what Pat and the collective is doing to make sure that the guys in place have something there and they know people here care about them the way they do at other universities. The only thing that bothers me with transfers is if you're an athlete and you decide to transfer to another school, man, don't go around the world saying, I'm a Minuteman for life. No, you're not. He's a Minuteman for life.
No doubt.
And that's why there's a statue outside the arena with his name on it. Julius Erving was a Minuteman for life. Once you get up and leave, man, you leave that card where you found it at the university. Go take another card and be something else. And that's the only problem I have with that is, so who do you claim? Like, we don't change the name on the back of it. You're going to have a Camby back there forever. Right. I'm going to have Martin. You're going to have Burnham back there forever. Like, we don't run away from those names, but this name has to matter too. And right now, we're in the middle of that. We got to figure that one out.
I'm drinking, by the way, speaking of Camby, I got a Camby IPA, which is one of, is that what do you drink?
So delicious. Cheers.
As
Cheers.
your namesake?
Oh, wow.
I tell you, if you told me when I was a kid I'd be at a brewery with Marcus Camby, drinking a Camby IPA. I would
Wait a second. It's been 17 years. I'm going to make a comeback on that one now. I got left out on that.
Okay, we've got our amazing broadcaster extraordinaire, Nathan Strauss, with us here today. I want to allow a lot of time if folks have some questions for Marcus or Coach Frank Martin, just raise your hand. Also, be gentle on me because I'm also engineering this thing live as we're doing it. So anybody have a question, raise your hand. I do. All right. Okay, sign man. Big thank you to all that you've done. Okay.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Make sure it's turned on underneath the – okay.
I have a vintage Marcus Camby sign from the era, and I hope you remember that.
Yes.
What happened, we had, I believe, just finished another A-10 championship round against John Chaney and Company, Aaron McKee, and
Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones, which was incredible. I had a little part of it because that's another story that has nothing to do with Marcus. But so yeah, hold that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so what happened is after
Hold the mic. There you go.
after winning one of the championship games, one of the members of the press went over to John Chaney, who wasn't too happy, because every year at Mullins it was another defeat, and they asked him how he felt about it, and I'm kind of paraphrasing it except for the Batman part, and he said, "How the hell do you think I feel? What was I supposed to do out there with, they had Batman out there blocking shots." So I made a Batman sign.
And that's the original?
That's the original one from, I don't know if there's a date on it or not, I can't read it. But yeah, that was from the era. I got some other signs from your era too, which I'll share, and my Frank Martin sign too.
No, that's great, buddy.
Thank
I
you
appreciate
so much.
that.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
all your
thank you.
support. Did you ever feel like a superhero out there, Marcus?
No, I was, like I said, I was surrounded by great teammates, man. Over the years, I know I get a lot of praise and a lot of accolades and stuff, but man, those teammates that I had, and the backcourt that we had, and Edgar Padilla, Carmelo Travieso, and Dante Bright and Dana Dingle and all those guys, Lou Rowe during his tenure.
You guys had some tough
Yeah.
SOBs. Not only were they good players, but they were some tough dudes, man.
Yeah, we had some ballers, and one thing with Coach Cal is, we played in the A-10, which isn't one of the blue collar schools, but he always made our out of conference schedules really tough. And our motto was always to play anybody, anytime, anywhere, and that's what we did. We played the ACC schools, the SEC schools, the Pac-10 schools, and we whooped them all. So we took pride in that. So great cast.
Okay, what's that text group look like in terms of those guys? Because I know some of the names you mentioned. No, I'm going to fix his headset too. I don't know if Nate can try to fix your headset there, but those guys are still involved and active in terms of trying to help the program as well.
Yeah, I'm in a group chat chain with all those guys, and it rings off like every other day. And those guys are just supportive. We check on each other. We check on each other's families, make sure that we're doing all right. We're trying to make plans for everybody to get together. I think it's in February. We're all going to try to get back here, get back to the campus, and show love to coach and the players that we have. So I'm looking forward to that.
Anybody else? Questions? Come on. All right. Dr. Rouzier, who retired. He told us, Doctor told us he retired. But
By the way, he's the one that knows all the real stories right there.
Yes.
So, Frank, you look a little calmer on the sidelines this year. What's making you be more calm this year?
The players, they come in and they try to please. As a coach, all you can do is demand that they play together and then turn them loose and trust them on games. And they come in every day and they work at growing together. And they own the good and they own the bad. They don't run from the bad. And they're fun to be around. They enjoy playing with each other. They enjoy competing against each other. They enjoy whoever's having success for, like Marcus was talking about all those guys. And one of the jokes, because I used to love watching UMass play basketball back then. One of the joys when I used to watch them play, it was a different guy every day. Like every day it was a different guy, and it wasn't like, let's just celebrate Marcus. Like they all watching their joy that they played with. They celebrated each other while winning was taking place, and that's what these guys are about. When you got guys like that on your team, as a coach, somebody has to create. By the way, people see me now because I'm like one of the rare dinosaurs that's left. But before he became Cal, when he was John Calipari, he was a little crazier on the sideline. He knows, and you do, you know too, Dr. Rouzier. Someone has to create that. Someone has to be the person that creates that passion that everyone else has to play with, and that's what we're fighting to create. But these guys bring it every day. So if they bring it, then I can coach and I can, just jump in whenever they need me for something.
Marcus, what was a Coach Cal practice like?
Wow. Man.
How long? Were there restrictions back then?
I don't think it was restrictions back then.
No.
I think it was like 20 hours a week you had to practice. I don't think we had that. But the toughest practice was when we lost. We didn't want to come in the next day to practice with Coach Cal. But they were definitely intense. I still remember the charge loose ball drills. I still have burns and raspberry marks on my backs from that. Hope you don't do that, Coach.
No,
you don't do that, okay?
I used to.
They don't have charges anymore, right?
What's that?
They took the charges out of the game this year.
They're trying to take the charge out, but now here's the truth. I used to do charge drills when I was a younger coach, and my really good player got hurt doing a charge drill because the guy took a charge and he landed and broke his wrist.
Wow.
And I said, I'm really stubborn. But I got a saying, don't be stubborn to stupid. When I was young, I used to try stupid, and I realized this doesn't work. So now I tried not to be stupid. But that day I said, I'm never doing a charge drill again. I'll just yell at them to take a charge, but I'm not losing my good player for doing a drill. But and here's the other part.
Well, sorry, I'm writing. I have a note on my phone that's called Frankisms. So I'm keeping track for each one that I pull from you. Okay, so don't be stubborn to stupid. Okay, continue.
Stubborn's okay. Just don't be stupid by your stubbornness. But this is the truth. See, when he was coming up, everybody ran practice like that. The majority of the guys on my team, no one's ever made them do that. If I make them start doing that as soon as they get here, they're going to run from it.
They're done.
They're going to run from it. They don't know. We used to dive on the asphalt at 5-star camp. Like you go to 5-star, you're doing charge drills and you're running stations at 10 o'clock at night. Now, like you say shell drill and guys are looking at each other like, what are we talking about? And so you got to be careful how you manage that dynamic with today's young players.
I think we're ready to draw our first raffle winner. Where'd Mr. McWilliams go? Pat, where are you at? As I mentioned, we've got QR codes up here. $10 gets your raffle entry. The proceeds go to the student-athletes through the Massachusetts Collective. So we're going to draw a couple of these. We've got 4 courtside seats for UMass versus West Virginia. Why don't we start there, as this should be a good game tomorrow, don't you think?
It should be a good game. Those two guys that got cleared by the courts to play are both really, really good players. And then they also get their point guard back, who had been suspended the first 9 games, Kier Kiersa, who was the starting point guard of Arizona last year. He's really good. So they the team that they have put together, if the whole situation with Coach Huggins didn't go down, they felt it was going to be a Big 12 championship Final Four kind of team. So they've got everyone except one now that'll be cleared to play. So I can tell you our guys are really excited about the opportunity. You want to play the good guys. Those are the ones that make you better.
All right, let's see. Which one do I? Okay, we'll go with Load Suite to the URI and Champion Center Tour game. All right, so you don't have to be present to win if you're watching on the stream. This is just going to populate a name at random. So here we go. Raffle draw is.
I mean, Jay, you're worse than me with
I'm
technology.
trying, Coach. I'm trying. I need a little help.
That's why I got 2 young guys running around helping me with all that.
All right, we're going to let Pat figure it out. Okay.
Holy cow.
Do you like, I mean, when you think about, I really enjoy the Hall of Fame connection to the University of Massachusetts.
I think it's awesome, man.
Do you like playing down there?
I think it's the home of basketball. It's Springfield, Mass. It's. Are we going with a winner here?
Yeah, we got one. You want to read it off?
Me. Scott Serwa.
Scott Serwa, load suite to the URI game, Champion Center Tour. Scott Serwa, you are the winner of our first raffle drawing, and it's not too late to get in online or here to get the rest of the raffle prizes. We'll get those away shortly.
Yeah, and like one of the things I did when I got hired is I studied how John Calipari, because it's the most successful big window of consistent success here, and how he scheduled when he first got here and how he scheduled at the end. We all remember you guys beating all those people, but when he first got here, he was playing all these big-name schools and neutral sites because they wouldn't come here.
Right.
And then he built the program where he started beating them in neutral sites and then signed you and Dante and all. And now you guys take that to a different level. Now you start getting all these home and homes. That's what we got to do right now. And having that arena in Springfield, it's the holidays. The students are all gone. You know, Amherst is a smaller community, obviously. People, the holidays, whatever. It gives everyone a chance to go down to Springfield, get away, you know, for the day for Amherst. Just walk around, do whatever. And then play a school that for the last 20 years has been top 15, top 20 program in the country. It's a win-win. I love the idea. And postseason basketball, whether it's your conference tournament or anything after that, is played on neutral sites. Right. So walking into an arena that you've never played at before, it helps you. It prepares you for that moment.
Marcus, did you get a little more amped up for some of those games that just might have mattered a little bit more? Say a game against Temple. Was the night before different than any other day?
Oh, the Temple games was always special. Like the sign guy said, you know, with John Chaney and Coach Cal and what happened my freshman year when he's trying to go at Coach's neck.
Oh, that was your freshman year?
That was my freshman year. We always had tension with Temple, and those games was always big. And we always knew that came the conference tournament, it was going to come down between us and Temple when you know, we was able to win 6 in a row. But
Not bad.
those were tough battles.
Yeah.
They weren't easy. They were tough. You know, that matchup zone that Coach Chaney played was a nightmare for all of us.
Another question to the audience. Nathan Strauss doing a fine job. Thanks for all that you do, my friend. Okay, hold on. Go ahead.
Marcus, what is one thing that you greatly miss from being up here at UMass as a player and also just from the campus environment as a whole?
What I miss most, honestly, I missed Antonio's. Like that was my spot. Well, that was all of our spots. Like we used to freak it down here like every night and have a good time when I was younger. But but I also, like I said, I miss the community. You know, I met so many lifelong friends during my 3 years here at the university, and I played with so many great players and played for a great coach. So those are what I miss most.
Hey, he's not lying. Because they invited me, him and Max. They did a little thing when they agreed to open this place up, and it was just like a room. And they did a little function in here. He's not lying. So they had media. There's some people here. He was in a suit, coat and tie. And as soon as he was done, he went right across the street to get a slice of pizza. So he's not lying about that.
That's the spot.
However, the kitchen is open at White Lion.
It's definitely
All right?
open at the White Lion.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question. You want to draw another winner here, Pat? Okay, how about dinner with Coach Leffler from the women's basketball side? Again, I will post these on the social medias. Here we go. Ready? Melissa Black is the winner for that one. Melissa Black, congratulations on the raffle. Thank you for partaking. And we'll get to dinner with Frank. We'll get to courtside with Marcus, courtside with Director of Athletics Ryan Bamford here in just a couple of moments. But while we've got you, just a big thanks to Max and all the White Lion people. Phenomenal staff that you guys have here. I mean, really well put together. And the beer is phenomenal. I can speak firsthand, obviously, on that. And great food as well. Do we have another question from the audience? How about a player? There's a player. Where's our team at? Raleigh. You got a question for Marcus Camby? Current Massachusetts basketball player to former Massachusetts basketball player.
Hey, Marcus can't stand the Celtics, so don't even ask. Don't even ask. Can't stand the Celtics.
Give him the mic.
How are you?
Great.
Guess I'm going to ask about now. now that obviously, not too far gone, but years past your college years. Are you still in touch with all your teammates, and do you guys still keep in contact and ever get along or ever hang out together?
Yeah, I was just saying that we're in a group chat together, and it rings off all day. There's jokes being called upon all day. Guys are checking on each other's families, and when you have a lifelong bond with those guys, that means a lot, and that goes a long way.
Do you think there's a difference in the teammates that you had in college versus the ones you had in the pros?
Yeah, for sure, because when I first got to the league, I was 21, so I was young, and I got to a team with a lot of veterans in New York, and those guys had families, and they were going home to their wife and kids, and I was just going home to play my Nintendo, so like the PlayStation and stuff like that. So, it gave me a better appreciation on the NBA, and all those guys taught me about being a professional and how to handle and budget my time.
I'm going to interject on something you just said. I had a young man who's with the Dallas Mavericks right now at South Carolina. His name's A.J. Lawson, and he graduated early from high school to enroll. Just by the way, all our players are here. Give them some love. But we got Tyler Mason, who just reported today's his first day, and his parents. So make sure you guys welcome him along with all our guys. But what Marcus just said, so AJ's dad was a blue-collar, hardworking man, and he was trained AJ since a little kid, NBA. So at the end of his freshman year, he's runner-up for Rookie of the Year in the SEC, and his dad wants him to go pro. All the NBA guys, you do the paperwork, they're all saying mid to late second round to undrafted. So I sit down with the dad. He's like, he's got to go. So now his mom says to me, Frank, what do you think? And I said, listen, can he play in the NBA? Yes, it's not my decision. However, what you just said, I said, you were worried about sending him to college? He's going to be an 18-year-old in a locker room with grown men that's going to be on airplanes going city to city. They ain't got no time for him. So now all these guys are getting to whatever city and going to dinner with their business associates. The ones that are single are running the town, having fun. He's going to be in a hotel room in Provo, Utah by himself. So that's not everyone talks about mental health. Think about that one when you're 18 years old. And then what happens when they're there? They got money. So now I can't hang out with Marcus Camby when he's 32 years old and he's worried about the business meeting that he's got in Los Angeles for his business function when he retires. Now AJ's going to go call his homeboys and fly them in and waste all his money. It's a complicated place, man, and everyone wants that one and done. But that if you're not that guy, that's not an easy life as a rookie in that NBA.
So true.
So I'm glad you said that, Marcus.
So true.